a new prospective talent, one to watch, a name to look out for. 10-year-old Rowan is already making a bit of a name for himself, and he is looking for local support to head over to America to compete for a world record title. How good does that sound? Rowan is with me in the studios this morning. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
It's lovely to meet you. When did you start powerlifting?
I started ever since I was about 1.
And what did you start? Well, you're 1, you're probably not going to remember. What was it, like cans of baked beans and stuff? Did you start doing that?
I started like running and working with a pipe.
Oh, okay. So you're like proper on it. This is amazing. So let's find out a little bit about, we know you've done it for a long time since you were 1. You're going to have to help me out in terms of how much you can lift. So you're 10 years old, and how much are you able to lift?
So my bench press is 47.5. Back squat is 100 kilo.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my word. Okay, right, we're gonna, so a bench press, can you talk me through what you look like when you're doing a bench press? Is this laying down?
So when you're doing bench press, you're lying on a bench, the bar's over your face, and there's a gap between like the back.
Yeah, so you've
and
got a
the
little
bench.
arch in your back when you're laying down, yeah?
You pick the bar up, take it to your chest, and then you push it.
And then you push it forward, so you're laying down the entire time.
Yeah.
And you're doing that 47.5 kg.
Yeah.
And the squat, which is, so how are you doing that? What have you got? Where is a bar with weights on it?
Yeah, it's a bar with weights on each side.
Okay. And that's, how much did you say?
100 kilo.
100 kilo. And I'm guessing you don't weigh 100 kilos, so
No.
you're squatting an enormous amount more than you.
Yeah.
What are you, twice your body weight squatting that?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah? OMG, that's enormous. Do you do any other sort of powerlifting techniques?
Deadlift. And my deadlift is 115.
I'm sorry, 115? So a deadlift, talk me through that. So if anyone's listening, they've never been to the gym and they don't know what deadlift is, technique-wise, what are you doing?
So deadlift, there's a bar on the floor. You could have your hands facing forward.
Yeah.
Or one hand facing back.
To help with your grip. So you might have one hand over the top and the other hand, so maybe left hand over the top, gripping onto the bar. Right hand comes up from underneath, grip onto the bar, so you've got a good solid grip. Which when you've got small hands, actually, those bars are they can be quite thick.
Yeah.
So if you've only got little hands, that helps with your grip, doesn't it? Because you are 10 years old, so you're not going to have massive, massive hands yet. So that helps with your grip. Okay, then what do you do?
So you have your hands on the bar, you get your feet ready, which is shoulder width, and then you bring your back up and down. I do it 3 times, and then on the third one I go really quick.
Yeah.
Down, and then I pull.
And then you're pulling up.
Yeah, you pull to your hip, and then after about 3 seconds you take it back down.
And which muscle groups are you using? What are you engaging? Do you know? Is that like back muscles, glutes, hams?
Everything.
Everything. It's the whole lot. And 115 kg on a deadlift.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's absolutely enormous. I can't believe this. Right, let's bring in your dad and your coach, Ben, who's with us as well on BBC CWR.
My background is working with spinal injury and brain injury.
Okay.
So I've with my client, we've trained this way for a long time. So Rowan grew up in that world, seeing how to learn good mechanics and then gradually introduce load over a long period.
Because that kind of technique is so important with this, because you could proper hurt yourself if you're getting that wrong. You really need that technique to be right before you're loading like that.
It's not the case that Rowan's just picking up something heavy. Like he's been training good mechanics like literally since he could walk. Like since soon as he could walk, we had a plastic pipe in his hand, learning how to move well. And he's been very fortunate to be around good coaches and people that lift. So I don't want any of your listeners to think we've just stuck a load of weight on him. He's training.
That would be a bit mean, really, to be honest, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So we need to go to America to prove ourselves. And that's the reason why we're trying to let people know that we exist in Coventry.
Yeah. Get out to him. How excited would you be to get there?
I'd be so happy.
And do you think, I mean, when you hear that, like, you know, obviously, that your numbers are, like, smashing anything anyone else is doing. So are you desperate to get out there and compete and prove it?
Yeah, I really, really want to compete, and I want to make a record which won't be breaking for a long time.
Oh, I love this. Look at the attitude. It's absolutely brilliant. How much do you train? How often are you in the gym?
4 to 5 days a week.
And you can't just be lifting all of the time. You must be doing other stuff as well. Which is the one exercise you love doing the most when you're in the gym?
Deadlift.
Deadlift. And is there one where you're just like, oh, I have to just push through this. I hate it, but I've got to do it?
It's back squat because it's quite hard.
Do you like the challenge of working towards something like that?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary, but when you do it, it makes you feel really happy.
Well, you've worked hard for something, haven't you? You don't get to be lifting that kind of weight without having trained and worked hard. There's not many people be able to pick that up anyway.
I think it's worth saying that if it takes us, we work in blocks over months and months and months, and it's powerlifting can be quite a miserable beast because you're working for something you don't see the end of for a long time. But we've got a YouTube channel with Rowan's training, and you can see when it does pay off how happy, how determined he is, how happy he is, and it's a very emotional moment.
Well, I've certainly met a lot of kids over the years that really, really, once they're in there and they're bought into it, they love it and they pursue it and they make it. So I should be very excited to hopefully continue to follow yours. The best of luck.